Welcome to Pokemon Unite 101. I'm one of the players who was fortunate enough to be able to get their hands on the old Canadian beta a couple of months ago, and of course I've grinded many hours now in the 3 days Japan beta so far, and I'm continuing, and I'm looking forward to getting into this game when it finally comes out. I'm going to talk to you today about everything you need to know in order to ensure your victory in Pokemon Unite, how to get wins and all that stuff. I'm going to go through all the most important tips and things you need to keep in mind and you need to train yourself to do when you're playing this game in order to be able to win. For the purposes of this discussion and giving you all these tips, I'm going to use a gameplay footage of one of my games from yesterday during this beta. I'm playing Talonflame, that is my main, and this will bring me to my first tip. Your team is going to be made up of 5 people. Everyone's going to have a different role to play. Some people might have the same kind of role. You need to know your roles. That's one of the most important things in this game. If you know your role, you'll be able to play your role. If you don't, you're going to be playing a different role that's going to overlap or contradict some of the other team members, and it's not going to work in your favor because your team is going to be missing one of the roles. We can see on the screen right here all the roles. We have attackers, speedsters, all-rounders, defenders, and supporters. The names are pretty much what you'd expect. Alright, you want your team to have a good mix of some of these. My Talonflame here is a speedster, which means my job is to pretty much dominate the center lane of the map, and that is supposed to be my focus. You do not really want 2 speedsters, but you can have them. But be careful of the overlap, because there'll be something later on that I'll talk about that will overlap there badly, okay? So we'll explain in a second. But as a speedster, speedsters often move around the map, change lanes a lot, dive on enemy teams. They're a little fragile, but they deal a lot of damage, especially critical hit damage, which is extremely valuable, one of my favorite types. So I really like playing speedster. This is my role, and you guys need to know your role. For example, if you're a defender, you definitely want to be hogging either the top or the bottom lane, and not alone. You want to be with at least one other team member. As long as you're playing your role, your team is going to play very effectively. Even if you're new at the game, just try to get a feel for what your role is supposed to be. Next tip is going to be all about early game, guys. You want to make sure you make the best out of the early game, and this ties in with knowing what your role is. Depending on your role, you're going to be going down a certain lane. Because I'm a speedster, my place is the center lane, and that's really important for the experience I get from taking out the beginning NPCs, like what I'm doing right now on screen. This will give me exactly enough experience to get to the next level stage. If you're not playing Talonflame, you're playing another speedster, it will also give you enough experience either to evolve or to get one of the moves that's really valuable for your actual role. Now, as you can see, I knocked out 2 right there from the center, I go for a 3rd, and after the 4th, I should be just about to evolve. Oddly enough, in this particular case, I actually don't, but you'll see what I'll do in a second. Either way, the Pokemon are pretty easy to take out. You don't really need to worry about healing up at first. Once I take out this Pokemon, I have a choice. I can go join my team members, or I can take out the 4th Pokemon, which is the dot on the map. You can see those little yellow dots, which are NPCs. I actually decided to go join my team because I can see what's happening on the map. And I can see that I'm about to get some experience from joining my team member. I'll just get the evolution that way. And I did. And we wiped them out too, which gave them a big disadvantage, a big time waste. They're losing experience and points right as we're speaking because they're dead. And we just kill out a 3rd one too. It gives us experience, it gives us points, and a chance to get an early score, as well as the other NPCs that spawn around here. So we immediately get a huge advantage. And right at this point, because of that move that I made and we got rid of their team there, the Crustle evolved, and now so did the Scorbunny, okay? So they've now both got their evolutionary stages. Scorbunny can still evolve a little later, that's for later on, but we're looking extremely pretty. The enemy team is still a Froakie and still a Scorbunny. A Talonflame, yeah, and a Scorbunny, so they're not looking very good at all. They're not able to do much, they're not able to push. They need to try and farm some experience from other NPCs still, while our team is actually past that stage. But there's something very important to know, guys, and this ties in with if you come with 2 speedsters who think they're supposed to go in the center. If 2 people go in the center, someone's taking the experience from you. Yes, you do share experience from killing NPCs with other team members attacking it too, and if that happens, you're not going to be getting your evolution. If I actually went Talonflame down either on the top lane or the bottom lane, and kill those NPCs there with other team members, even by myself, I wouldn't have gotten the correct amount of experience to evolve, and I would still be the first evolutionary stage. But as fortune has it, I played very well at the beginning here, and I got a lot of experience to evolve to my 3rd stage in less than 2 minutes because I maximized the experience gain there by scoring, taking NPCs out, and killing their teammates. All that was really great. Just rewinding time a little bit there, we're going into the mid game. This brings me to my next point. Know when to run away. It's much more favorable to run away and heal a little bit than die, even if that means you're letting the enemy score like I just did. Pikachu can take me on in a one-on-one easy clap, and they were about to kill me. If I tried to confront them and stop them from scoring, they would have killed me, they would have scored again anyway with more points. I actually fled, I got the berries, I healed, and then as they scored, because they were greedy to try and score there, I went in and killed them both. I got them. That's my job. I'm supposed to jump on them when they're not ready. And that's exactly what works in my favor, and I did it, and they both died. I took out the NPCs, I got more experience, I got some more points, and now I'm sitting on full points, ready to score whenever I get a chance. So definitely run over die. You do not want to die often in this game. If you die, the more you die and the later it gets in the game, the timer will get longer for your respawn. And when it gets to late game, guys, that long timer is really long, okay? It's gonna be 20 seconds or 30 seconds, you're waiting and your team is fighting to try and swing the game in their favor, and you're just not there, okay? That's not what you want to do. You need to learn to just run away. Only attack, only take those opportunities when they're open. Don't try to force the opportunity to open yourself. As we're entering the mid game here and continuing, the next point is very, very important. You're just going to have to be able to exert some self-control, play tactfully, and do not get frustrated. You can see me diving in on the NPCs there. You can see me stopping Cramorant from scoring there, so I had that ability. I'm playing defensively because I appear to be defending this goalpost against 3 of their team by myself. That's not my job, okay? That's not my job. But I'm making the correct play in running there. I did die, but that doesn't matter. Now, for many people, that's going to be really frustrating. It was frustrating for me, of course, but you just have to be able to learn to just not let it be frustrating if you know you're making the right play. Because as long as you're making the right play, it's okay. It's still on them, their skill, that they were able to do that. Not on your faults, okay? So you might be sometimes when you're getting into the game feeling like, oh, I don't know what I was supposed to do there, I died, and that's going to be frustrating. That's why it's really important to go back to the first point, learn your role. What is your role supposed to do in these situations? That will become easier with time, with games, more games played and so on. They did manage to score there, and they also killed me, but that's not a big deal. Now, I move on to the next phase, right? I have my 23 points, I'm ready to go, and this brings me into my next point, especially for mid-game and late game, use the NPCs. This Rotom here will act as an extra NPC, it will help you attack up in whatever lane, it'll help you just kill the enemy, and it does, and when it manages to reach the enemy's goal, it will have this little thing on it, it will zap it, and it will allow you to score instantly. So if you're sitting on the maximum amount of points held, that would normally take quite a few seconds to get in, but with a Rotom Zap, you just score straight away, and you don't even have to kill the enemy. You can just go up to the goal as long as you can survive, just hit X and then actually score it. That's going to be very, very valuable in pushing. So use the NPCs. At the top of this map, there's the Rotom that does that, but at the bottom, there's a Dreadnought, which if killed will give your team, your whole team, a shield. It's a lot less valuable than the Rotom in my opinion, but if you have the ability, you can always do both. My next point goes straight from there, guys. This ties in with what we just said for the last 2 points. Look at the map. You got a mini-map up the top left. On the mini-map, you got dots, which show you some of the latest information that you've seen or your team has seen on your behalf, showing the NPCs' positions and the enemies' positions on the map, okay? So you know what's going on the map. You can see where you can get some experience, you can see where you can get some points, and you can see if there's an available NPC like a Rotom to actually get to give your team a little bit of an edge. You can also see that you can see the enemy posts and you can see your posts. You can also see where your allies are and if they're doing their job correctly. You can also, you know, you can see a lot of information there. You gotta keep an eye on it. You can see where you are needed. Me as a speedster, I change lane now because I see the Pikachu down here, and that is a ripe opportunity to dive on him. Garchomp is coming back, another Cram Cramorant's coming with 47 points, which we do not want to let score. Maybe with the help I can, well, he's dead, he died, but with help of your teammates, you can collapse on the enemy and kill them, and they can lose a lot of points. Sadly, it did not work out for me this time, and that's okay. It's not going to work out 100% of the time, but I was making the right play by going down to try and help the Garchomp. Sadly, our defender was gone already, and that does open up a moment for the enemy to score. Not everything goes your way, but you gotta try and make the best of it, and you gotta make the best plays in every possible situation, because that is going to maximize the effectiveness of your entire team overall. Now I come in and we just dive on them and we party wipe them, okay? So now that we push with the team, we stop the Pikachu from escaping on the board, he's dead. We just killed 3 of their team, and now we can make the push back. We can get big scores in. I'm looking at the map, I can see all this happening. I can see up the top lane, they're not needing me just yet. Cinderace is fine at the moment. He's defending, I guess. He's just hanging on, and there's a couple of Pokemon up there that are busy, just moving around, doing nothing right now. We go in and we score and we get rid of their goalposts. It's also important, guys, in my next point, I let that Cinderace go. I did not try to finish off the Cramorant. I had half health. I did not want to overextend. Don't overextend. That's a very important point, guys. If you think you're feeling confident, you might really feel tempted to just go for it, but you will die like that. Don't overextend, guys. Know when to pull back. If they're running the opposite direction and you cannot one hit them, or you're going to, if you have to hit them, you're going to be going very much closer to the enemy base and behind enemy lines, you're going to die. Just don't do it. You know, I dived on and I got a kill. I wasn't going to be greedy and dive again and try to get more kills. I may have gotten a kill, but I may have died as well, and we don't know which way that would have gone. It's more likely I would have died without getting another kill. The last tip is about the late game. The late game happens when the legendary is counting down in the middle. We already saw that a little earlier. Now, currently, the legendary has spawned. This is where you want to know what to do, guys. It could go either way. Your team could get the legendary, the enemy team could get the legendary, and you're going to want to do very different things depending on that. Everyone's converged on the center. They won't always. It depends on how well the team is playing against the other team, whether or not they actually even try for the legendary, because the legendary does a lot of damage and it's quite a long time to take it, okay? You can easily steal kill the legendary, okay? I always do it. That's part of my role. I often kill steal, I guess, the enemy's legendary when they're all on it. I just dive in. But once you kill the legendary, you get that Rotom effect on all of the enemy's goalposts, as well as topped up on all your points. So it's better to have scored beforehand if you can, but you will have 50 points and you'll be able to score them instantly. In this point, guys, my whole team is scoring because we actually also get a multiplier. If I've scored 50 points in their home base there, I get 100 points for my team. It doesn't matter about the Pikachu up on the map there towards our base. He can score all he wants. I don't care. He's not going to outscore us. Now, if the enemy get the legendary, you do not want to defend bases like you've been doing for the rest of the game. You want to kill them. You have to kill them because they're all going to have max points and they're all going to be able to score just like that. Even if you guys are still alive on the actual bases defending it, you have to kill them. That's the only way you're going to get rid of their points and get rid of them and stop them from scoring. So that's when you want to become extremely aggressive with your team if they get the legendary. That's it. So if you can steal the kill, that's great. If you can't and you get it, your team gets it, that's great. If you cannot steal the kill and they get it, you have to try and kill them. As we can see, guys, I finished off the team here with a lot of medals. I got the top gold for the Speedster, which is the lightning one. I got the top scorer, which is the purple one. I got a bronze fist for heavy attack. Right? I'm not actually an attacker, but I got it anyway. I also got the gold medal for defender, which is sad for a Crustle. I'm sure a Crustle was doing fine, but I did more defending. And as you guys saw in the mid-game, I was up on the top lane myself, defending against 2 or sometimes 3 of their Pokemon, and I did die once or twice, but that was okay. It stopped them from pushing, it stopped them from scoring effectively. I applied enough pressure and I bought the rest of my team a lot of time, and it helped them make gains. I also got the green medal, which is for maximum health healed amongst my party, which is odd, okay? I mean, it's odd for a Speedster to do that, but I do have a potion, and I did take berries, and I went back and I played well. It's a very good sign that I have all those medals, because I played all the roles well. I played everything that I was supposed to do in different situations well. And that's all the tips, guys. That's going to help you win games. Thank you all for watching, guys. If you are interested in hanging out and watching some more Pokemon Unite, especially when the full game comes out, we're going to be doing that every day over on twitch.tv/Blaines. I hope to see you there. We'll probably occasionally normally do it on YouTube as well, live streams, but we'll keep our videos coming on YouTube as well. So definitely drop that sub, like this video if it helped you out, and hopefully I will see you in some of the live streams in the near future. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys around in the next one. Till then, bye.